Welcome back to Bethy Marie. Today I have two helpers with me, William and Susanna, and we're going to be making coffee cake muffins. This is a recipe that I found online and adapted slightly, and I think you're really going to like it. So follow along with us while we cook, and the recipe will be in the description below this video. All right, so the first thing that we are going to do is we will have some muffin tins, and we'll lightly grease them and set them aside. Now let's get out a medium-sized bowl and make our crumb topping for the muffins. William, can you add in half a cup of sugar? Yes. And then we'll add 2/3 of a cup of flour. And then 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Next, you're going to get a cold stick of butter. Cut it in half, and then you're going to put half the butter in the dry mixture, and then you're going to use, if you have one, a pastry blender to mix it up and make crumbs. If you don't have a pastry blender, you can use a couple forks, but the main point is to keep the butter cold and not touch it too much, and just create a coarse crumb mixture. So let's blend it up. And I'll show you what we've got. No butter left behind is what I always say. Yep. So now you can see we have a fairly coarse mixture of pea-sized pieces of butter, and this is ready to just go and sit in the freezer so it stays nice and cold while we mix up the rest of our muffins. All right, so let's mix up our muffin ingredients now. The first thing we're going to add to the bowl is 2 cups of flour. William, you're up.
Oh my God.
Good job. All right, and now we'll add in 1 cup of brown sugar. Thank you. And 1 teaspoon of salt. Next, we'll add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. The next ingredient is 1 cup of sour cream.
Does the sour cream get mixed in?
It does. The sour cream gets mixed in. This is going to remind you of a sour cream cake donut when you're eating your muffins a little bit later. Then we are going to add in 5 tablespoons of melted butter. And then 2 eggs. All right, once all your ingredients are in the bowl, give it a good mix. Go ahead, William.
Okay. Oh, it's going to be a little bit messy.
Now we're going to fill our muffin tins. Just a little tip, you can use an ice cream scoop to fill up your muffin tins and make sure you have about an equal amount. I usually use 1 heaping scoop per muffin. Like I mentioned earlier, you can grease your muffin tins ahead of time, or if you choose to use a paper liner, that's another option. So let's get scooping. All right, so let's start with a heaping scoop from an ice cream scoop. And we'll put it right into the muffin tin. And as you can see, that fills it up about half to 2/3 of the way, which is about what you want when you're making muffins. So fill up your muffin tin until you run out of batter. right, so our muffin tin is full of muffin batter, and now we are going to put our crumb topping on top of them. I just pulled this out of the freezer, and we're going to use a spoon, and we're going to just dump some crumb topping on top of each muffin. All right, so now that our crumb mixture is on top of our muffins, we're going to go ahead and bake this 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. The way to test if it's done is if you gently touch it and it springs back. Alrighty, well, the muffins came out of the oven. They took about 15 minutes to bake until they were ready. I let them cool, and now we are going to test them out. William, give it a try. Want one, Susanna?
No.
Oops, they're crumbly. Oh boy, is it so good? What do you think, bud? All right, well, I hope you make these muffins yourself and that you enjoy them as much as we do. Again, the recipe is in the description below the video. Make sure you subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you around.